the catastrophe continues. And the escalation in Lebanon is extremely dangerous and worrying. I was in Lebanon some days before, just before the explosion of these electronic devices has been creating terror among the Lebanese population. The escalation is extremely dangerous and worrying. I can say that we are almost in a full-fledged war. We're seeing more military strikes, more damage, more collateral damage, more victims. Since Tuesday, in Lebanon, 500 people has been killed, and over 4,400 people have been injured. Among them, a high number of children and women. And what do we see through the TV screens? We see thousands of people escaping to the north, provoking big jams on the transport system, escaping because they had been warned that the attacks will continue and the bombing too. I was some days ago on the border between Lebanon and Israel, visiting the UNIFIL troops with a certain high-level degree of risk, and I learned from them how things are going, the intensity of the fighting, of the bombing, both sides. Each one has its own responsibility, but now we are seeing how civilians in Lebanon are paying an intolerable, unacceptable price. When in some days we talk about 500 people killed and 4,400 people injured, this is something that escapes any kind of consideration about the civilian casualties. And it's again the Geneva Convention to make explosive at distance without taking any consideration for the environment where these explosives are exploding. Either in a queue in a commercial center, on a public square, on a street, on a hospital, whatever. These are targeted and at the same time random attacks. Targeted because of the purpose and random because of the consequences. I condemn. I continue condemning it. Yes, I'm going to have a meeting with my Iranian counterpart. I always do it. This is my seventh and last UNGA, seventh. And I always met with the Iranian minister. Unhappily, I'm sorry, the last one was, as you know, was killed in a helicopter accident. I know the new minister because I've been working with him in the past. We will discuss about everything, and in particular the nuclear deal, the support to Russia. We'll do it, but I cannot tell you before doing it. But we have to keep lines of communication with Iran open. Whatever we disagree and whatever we think things are not doing on the right way, there is a new president in Iran. The new president of Iran has been meeting with the president of the European Union Council. It's normal. And we have to continue having lines of communication with Iran. And that's why my political director attended the inauguration in Iran. And we will continue discussing with Iran, even to tell them what we think is being done wrong. I don't know how do you call, even less than 1 week, I don't know the figures I gave to you, I don't want to make a mistake, but in less than 1 week, 4,400 people are wounded and almost 500 killed. If this is not a war situation, you will tell me how do you call it. Certainly has not been a land invasion. I am not member of the staff of the Israeli Defense Forces, so I cannot tell you which are their plans. But it's clearly that they have been announcing once and again that the only solution is to a full-fledged war, an invasion. It's not an invasion, but there are air attacks, there are strong bombing. I don't want to say that on the other side Hezbollah doesn't have a lot of responsibilities also. Everybody has to understand who is doing what. but and certainly the influence of Iran in Lebanese politics is evident. But from one side and the other, due to the war in Gaza or whatever, hundreds of thousands of people have been displaced, both in the north and in the south. Also in the south, 150,000 Israelis also had to leave. But the solution is, I think, is not to increase the level of warfare. I don't know if it's going to be a land invasion or not, but some cases you don't need to. You don't need to. You have a strong aerial control, and you have a strong military capacity to bomb. Maybe you don't need to invade. I am worried by the situation of the United Nations forces in Lebanon. Certainly, they could be caught in a fight, and I hope that this is not going to create a difficult situation for them.